Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it Market Dangers Unappreciated. I got that from this interview with Mark Spitz that Bloomberg had with Mark Spitznagel. And this was interesting. It was held on June 3rd. And that was one of the comments he made in this, but he felt like this financial system is most vulnerable to the greatest credit bubble of human history. Now, there's a lot of folks, depending on how long you've been trading or in the market since when? 2009, 2000, 1990. What is your perspective? My perspective when you look at this, I just feel like, here's where we are right now. We haven't seen anything yet, okay? This is what has happened since the Great Depression, 1932. I believe we've had, 5 cycle waves up. The 5th cycle wave has gotten fairly extended, there's no doubt. But in terms of what's been going on here recently, we just really haven't seen anything yet. I mean, you just have to put this in perspective. Now, one of the things I want to point out, I could spend a lot of time just talking about this chart alone. But one of the things I want to show you is this is a monthly view. So when I look at the RSI on a monthly basis, let's just look at where it has gotten extremely oversold and what happened in down here. Okay, so of course, in 1929 to 1932, look how it got extremely oversold, and look how it can get oversold and it can stay oversold. Well, then what happened? When was the next time? In cycle wave 2. It happened twice. The first wave down and then the second leg down. So 2 times in cycle wave 2. Now, when you look up here and you get into cycle wave 3, it was bullish cycle. We had 1 time at the end of primary wave 4 where it got less than 30 on the RSI. Okay, deeply oversold. Now you get into cycle wave 4 right here, this 16-year period where the Dow Industrials, it could not get above 1,000 and stay above 1,000 for 16 years. Okay, and how many times did it get oversold in bear thrusts to the downside? 1, 2, 3, 4 times within this 16-year period. Okay, so now we move into the last cycle wave 5 that I believe just ended here at the peak in January. Okay, this last move up, we've had 1, well actually 2, right here within primary wave 4. Have we experienced anything, even with COVID crash? Have we experienced anything like that since then? No. Okay, great financial crisis. This was the 2002, September 2002 right here. Okay, so in terms of what we've experienced right now, everybody keeps talking about, it's the worst start to a year since X, and, yada, yada, yada. Comparisons keep coming in about, it's the 1970s, etc. I've seen a lot of references to the 70s. Do I think we're going to get something identical to this from 29 to 32? I doubt it. But you never know. But I just, the market isn't going to repeat exactly in the same way, okay? There's a part of me that thinks there's a decent chance that what happened right here in this cycle wave 4 may actually occur on a more massive scale up in here as we just, cycle sideways in major bear moves. Who knows? But as of right now, I don't think we've seen anything yet. We basically had 5 months, 5 little bars, and we really haven't done that much in the grand scheme of things. And talk about weakness on a monthly basis in terms of momentum weakness. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough on that. And like I said, I could spend a lot of time talking about that chart alone. Let's go back and take a look at what's going on with the markets. And we're going to focus on the Dow Industrials today. And so here's the Dow, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq for this last week. We've only had 4 days of trading since my last video, okay, last weekend. And I talked about all these major indices last weekend. So the Dow was down 313 points for the week this week, and the S&P down 50. The Nasdaq Composite down 118 points. Okay, when we look at the Dow versus the transports, here's the picture again. The transports clearly have a major head and shoulders top in them. I think at a minimum, it projects down to getting down below 11,000. Where did we close? 14,444. How soon? How quick? I don't know. But that's the projection. And of course, can this fail? Yeah, it could fail. Any pattern could fail. And that's why you just got to look to see, is it continuing to follow the projection? To me, this fails if we trade and get back above this high right here at 15,703. Then you got to sit back and say, okay, the head and shoulders pattern on the transports has failed. But that's what we're looking at right now. Okay, now I want to drill down and go back and take a look at the Dow on a weekly, daily basis. We're going to do this. So we got side by side. Here's for the week. Here's for the day. You can see here's the last 4 days. This was Friday, May 27th. And then we were down 348 points on Friday. So yeah, we've had a little bit of a rally back. It's kind of similar in terms of the strength of what's happened, and very similar to what happened back here in mid-March. We'll see whether or not we continue to push. I think we're getting very, very close to the end of this move, though. So let's drill down and take a look at the Elliott wave picture. Let me just go, and we're going to focus on the daily. And so here's what I think's happening. This really hasn't changed. There's no change in terms of what what I've been looking at, what I've been interpreting in here in terms of the move down. Yeah, this has gotten a little bit, when you look at this on a daily, it looks like a three-wave move in here. It doesn't become clearer till you drill down and take a look underneath, and you can see that there is a five-wave move. We had a major messy sideways type wave 2 in here, WXY. And then we had wave 3 come down, wave 4 pull back, and then we finished off. So that's right now when I look at the hourly view and looking at what's happened here last couple of days. Here's the price action. Now, there's a decent chance that this wave 4 really hasn't ended yet. Okay, it could very well be that this is doing something like this, where it's kind of chopping sideways, okay? And that we have more to go to the upside, and maybe wave 4 is not ending till over here. Although given the length of, wave 2, we've already had 2, 4, 6, 7 bars in here to this low. And what did we have right here? 2, 4, 5 bars. And then when you drill down and take a look at this move right here, we're at 65. You look at the 30-minute. You don't even see a ton more detail in this move right here. But I do like the fact that we're getting divergence. You get major divergence showing up on the RSI between the highs. To me, it becomes confirmed if we take out this low right here, 32,509. Okay, 32,509. We take out this low, then I think we are underway in terms of heading south. Now, when you look at the SPX and NASDAQ, this trend line is broken a little more substantially on those. Okay, so right now we'll see whether we continue to get the move to the downside, and that did this really end right here? We're going to find out Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so that is the perspective I have on the Dow Industrials. Hasn't really changed much over the last 4 trading days. Yeah, this got a little messy in here, but that's where we're at. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of the indicators. I want to look at the McClellan oscillator. Now, a couple of interesting things are going on here. Look how extremely overbought we got up here at plus 350. Just incredible in terms of being overbought. Now we've come back down, we've alleviated some of that, but we're still sitting above the plus 150 level. We're sitting at plus 157. Okay, so we're still extremely overbought. What's interesting when you look at the summation index, it's the cumulative of the McClellan oscillator. So what I think is really interesting here is look how it went to a lower low, okay, just like the markets have done. Okay, the Dow, the S&P, everything, they punched in May to a lower low. So if this would, for example, would not have done that, and then we would have had a non-confirmation. And, then I'd be looking at more of an intermediate bottom that possibly formed, but I just don't see that yet. Plus, we're in a pretty solid downtrend when you look at this. Let me just, let me do this. So this move right here, and you look at this move right in here, we're in a pretty solid downtrend that we're just kind of cycling back and forth through. And we did get to a lower low here. Okay, so that's what's catching my eye. That's what I'm looking at here on the summation index in the McClellan oscillator. And, so being up here in this extremely overbought territory, plenty of room to come on down and get back to the neutral zone and then stretch the rubber band in the opposite direction. Okay, so that is the picture there on the McClellan oscillator. Let's take a look at the VIX. And the VIX, it's just been oscillating back and forth. Here's what's interesting to me. When you look at it on a weekly view, let me get my little screen thing again. This looks like a major rounding bottom in here on a weekly view. And I've got this trend line. I'm watching this to see, okay, do we really break above this trend line and continue to round up in here and break above this trend line? I think when we do, I think we're going to get a major explosion. Kind of like, see how we did this on a very small level down here? Okay, this is a much bigger level, so it's going to be interesting to see what develops here and how long does it take. It's really hard to tell at this point. Okay, I want to take a look now at three sectors within the market. The financials, energy, and semiconductors. So we're going to take a look at XLF, XLE, and SMH. So I want to go right here, and I do want to go to the weekly view. So here's XLF. XLF peaked at first week of January, actually the week of January 9th. Okay, yep, right here. And we've been trending down. I mean, it's clearly we're in a pretty solid downtrend, pretty much in sync with the markets. Yeah, we got a little oversold here with this move down in May. We're getting a bounce back, just similar to what happened back in March. So that is where we're sitting with the financials, pretty solid downtrend. How much more, where could we go? I don't see any further support. Maybe we get some support if we come down in here, we get near the highs that occurred back in at the end of 2019 into early 2020, possibly as a next level. Let's take a look at energy, XLE. Now this is interesting. This is in a solid uptrend, there's no doubt, but we are getting some pretty substantial divergence showing up on the weekly in terms of the RSI and on DI+, okay? It's just not confirming the move here at the tail end. Now we'll see whether that continues to hold. Sometimes things continue to trend. Clearly the ADX, where's the ADX sitting? On a weekly view, the ADX is at 30.8. So it's in a solid uptrend. Of course, you don't have to go to the ADX to see that. But what caught my eye on this is this little candle that just happened this last week. This is either a pause or putting in a short-term top, I think. So we'll see what kind of follow through we get this coming week. If we have a down candle and we pull back down here, this could be one of those short-term peaks, kind of like over here. And then we'll see, how long does it last. But that's what caught my eye here on energy. And now I want to go take a look at SMH. And let's go over here and grab that right here. Semiconductors peaked with the NASDAQ back in November. So the week of November 21st. So since that high, we got real close to taking out the high in the first week of January, but did not. So that high is still held. So since that high, we've been in a pretty solid downtrend here. And the thing that caught my eye about this is where's the support? So it's right around 215 to 216. So the low here, the week of March 7th of last year, was 2016. And then the low here in May was 2015. So I think we break that. Let me just get my little marker back up. We break that level right there. And then you got to sit back and say, well, where's the next level? I would think it would come in right about down in here. And so we got, quite a ways to go if we break this 215. And I think we need to close below 215 for a good sign of weakness. But then we come down, we're going to get down below 180. And probably in this zone, I would guess. Okay, so where are we talking right here? This low is 163.57. So just I would even say, and where did this close? 175. So 163 to 175. That'd be a pretty good little zone of support, I think, as the next real test if we get a close below 215. Okay, so that is the picture on semiconductors. Pretty solid downtrend, as are the financials. And of course, energy is going to be real interesting to see. Is it running out of steam and about to roll over in here? And, it's held, we broke above this support level here, basically 78 to 80. Resistance level now, and so the key is that resistance level, not support level. Is that resistance level going to become support or not? And so that's going to be the real test as this thing pulls back. Okay, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit that little subscriber button. And if you'd like more of this information on a regular basis, head on over to joehenches.net. Check out the website, check out the membership. Everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you on the next video.